breathe. I stood there bent over as my sweat ran down my forehead and into my eyes. My vision was blurred for a brief moment as I caught my breath and I took in the moment. I looked at the scoreboard and saw a 24-23. It was a game point, and with that game point came the opportunity to prove why I was there. You have made it this far. This is your moment. I heard the whistle blow, and the player bounced the ball, getting ready to serve. The ball was saved by a diving libero and set perfectly to the setter. As the setter got the ball, I began to run through the motions. Drop back, run up, jump, spike. I kept running these words through my head as the ball moved in front of me in slow motion. I jumped up, pulled my arm back, and ready to spike it, I crushed it down on the other side of the net. The crowd was screaming. The court soon became crowded with all the fans. Growing up, I was a baseball and basketball star. I won many MVP awards and helped bring my team to many championships. I loved the feeling of knowing my team counted on me. I loved being the player who could always be counted on year after year. And after year, I would find myself with many prestigious baseball and basketball awards. But there was just something about baseball. Baseball was a sport I absolutely loved. There was something about playing those hot, sweaty games in the summer or those crisp, cold games in the fall. There was something about hitting a walk-off home run in the championship. There was something about striking out the side and walking off the field as your team ran past you. There was something about baseball that I absolutely loved from the moment I started playing it. It was a cold, sunny fall day. The clay on the diamond was perfectly misted with the water from the sprinklers. There I found myself walking up to the plate in a one-run championship game. I knew the team was relying on me to drive in this run. I slid my gray Nike batting gloves over my hands and stuck the Velcro together. I spit on my gloves and rubbed my hands together. I began to grip the bat as I normally did. I stepped in the box and prepared for the pitch. I was ready for this. The pitcher wound up and threw the ball. Ding! I hit the ball over the left fielder's head. I began to run the bases like I normally had before. I touched the corner of each bag. At first, at second, and on at third. As I was going into third, I looked at my coach, who signaled me to slide. I slid into third base, and the throw came whizzing in over me. A cloud of dust went into the air. Safe, the umpire yelled, but that was the last thing that I was worried about. As I stood up and brushed myself off after the slide, I felt a sharp pain in my right thumb. I looked down and felt my thumb beginning to throb and make my batting glove just look like another layer of my skin. I wanted to stay in. I wanted to help my team, and as adrenaline started to run off, I felt the throbbing pain come back into my thumb, and I was faced with the decision to play or to go to the emergency room. I wanted to push forward for the love of the game. I then sat down on the bench. My tears rolled down my face and hit my lips. I could taste the saltiness of my tears. I wanted to keep going, but I wasn't able to. Come on, Tyler, push through it. But I just couldn't bear the pain anymore. My parents took me to the emergency room, and that brought the news that I snapped my thumb in 2 separate places and would have to have surgery to even have a chance of playing again. As I sat there knowing my season was over, I never thought my baseball career would be over as well. As high school approached, I was attending a school that was known for their baseball team, a team that was once number one in the nation. I wanted to be the next big thing on that team. My recovery process was so long that I wasn't even supposed to try out for the baseball team, but I did for the love of the game. I gave it my best. I knew the results were to come a few days later, but I was not confident at all. The next day, the baseball coach called me into his office. He said to me, "Sorry, kid, I can't take someone like you onto our team." He went on to a whole speech about his baseball program, and I just blocked it out. I walked out of his office, and I wanted to cry. I felt my eyes starting to moisten, and it felt like a matter of seconds before I let out a waterfall. I thought to myself, this was the end of my athletic career. The sport I loved the most is no longer a part of my life, but I found myself to be wrong. I figured that since my baseball career is over, I might as well start taking risks. I showed up to tryouts for a sport I never played in my life, which was volleyball, and ended up making the team. I remember waking up that Tuesday morning, excited to see if I made the team or not. I showed up to school and saw my name on the list, and on that list it said that I was on the B team. And as a member of the B team, I didn't even really play unless it was a complete blowout. I was extremely bad, and as the season passed, I began to question if I should even play volleyball again. But I pushed myself forward. I walked into the gym, laced up my shoes, stretched, and I was ready. I was nervous and my confidence wasn't the best, but I knew that I would have to give it my all, and if my all wasn't enough, I could say that I did my best. The next day, I was called into the coach's office. He sat me down, and I was prepared for that same speech that I was given by the baseball coach, and what I heard was shocking. "We want you on the team this year," he said. I sat there with my jaw dropped. They wanted me? The coach began to go on saying, You have the potential that we never saw during your freshman year tryouts. You have the potential for varsity as long as you bring an open mind and hard work. That was something that followed me to this day. One day before practice, I was called into the coach's office once again. This was the first time I felt confident going into the coach's office. I sat down and the coach said to me, "We need you on varsity for this tournament coming up, and if you're fine with that, we're going to double roster you." I thought to myself, of course I'm fine with that, but with being double rostered, that meant double the commitment and double the responsibility, but I knew that I was ready to prove myself. And that brings me back to where I started the story. This was my opportunity to prove why I'm here. I'd made it this far, and this was my moment, and I absolutely seized that moment as I spiked the ball and the crowd stormed the court. I let out a scream as the game ended. I dropped to my knees and I cried. No one in that gym knew my story. No one really knew my journey. From baseball star to volleyball hero, no one knew what happened in between. Life is like a roller coaster. It has its ups and downs, but every time it goes down, it'll eventually come back up. Baseball was just an amazing experience, but from that experience, I gained adversity, and adversity is something that I hope everyone experiences. Nothing ever comes easy in life. When you're down and want to give up, find your purpose and find the power of hard work and commitment. I found my purpose with volleyball, and now I know that I can do anything in the world if I keep my focus and keep working at it.